We wish everyone peace this evening, and we hope you leave here feeling fulfilled and content. Amen. I need one. Sorry, I don't have a book.
Will you stand and join us in singing Joy to the World?
We're grateful Sheila could join us tonight. So I want to get us into this mentality of going all the way back to what this night really was about. We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Now, if you think back what it must have been like in the story of three wise men traveling 1,200 miles across Persia and Babylon and Syria, all because they believed that if they did that, if they followed this star, this sign, that their lives would be hopeful. We must see him. We must go. When they arrived in Jerusalem, they asked, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." They followed the shining star to where it rested over a home in Bethlehem. At early dawn, neighbors gathered to watch the richly robed travelers get off these very tired animals, and somebody meets them at the door. It's Joseph, And they say, "We've come to see this child, the king." And the wise men fall before the babe, faces to the floor, royal counselors doing homage, worshiping the Christ child. Outside, their servants unload weighty wooden chests from these camels, and they set gifts before the king. Heavy fragrances of frankincense and myrrh mingle to fill the room as one by one of these boxes are opened. Just a touch of this child's tiny fingers, a final longing look, and the men get up and they leave. Soon camel bells fade in the brisk morning air. Now just imagine, if you will, all of the hype that went on around trying to make it to see this child. Nobody knew why this was so important. And for us, it only matters if we can bring that story into a modern day thought, which is, how do we renew that Christ spirit within us? How do we get to a place where we are bringing our light to the world? How do we recognize that we are just as important and we were just born as special? And that's what Jesus' story said. It's all about understanding how this night can be meaningful to us. Otherwise, it's just a great story. Sorry, Elliot. now, and then our message. So I want to invite you to take a few deep breaths. I know it's been a busy week and a really busy day for many of us. And tomorrow will be even busier. But what's important is that we take time tonight to renew ourselves and to bring peace into our lives. So let's just take a few deep breaths. And as you take in all the air you need, imagine as you let it out that you're letting out all the stress in your life, bringing in the light and the joy that this season can bring. All things considered in this year, we quiet our minds and focus on our heartbeat. And just take in the words that I share. What is right for you in this moment. Tonight, I take time to celebrate the spirit of Christmas, which created the opportunity for faith, hope, peace, love, and joy to be a part of my life. And while this season can be one of busyness, it is important for me to simply stop and immerse myself in the true meaning of the season. I open my heart and my mind to the real gifts of Christmas. In this season of hope lies the opportunity for me to shine a new light on my life and on the world. Christmas is the perfect time for me to renew my connection to the divine and strengthen my light within. I let go of any worries I have in this moment. And if there's anything I am resisting, I release it now. I let it go. And I see instead the possibilities that exist for my highest good. The true meaning of Christmas is our shared human story. The story of experiencing the birth of our indwelling divine presence. And that journey starts in hope and faith. This is a time for me to open myself to the promise for spiritual renewal and to remember that my life is a gift, that I must cherish and nurture that gift every day. Those of us remaining on this earth, we have an obligation to live with purpose and meaning and to recognize our divine presence in this lifetime. It's what Christmas was meant to make us aware of. I consciously choose to set forth my desire to live as someone who shines my light on the world every day. And even on the days I don't do my best, I know that my light is always lit within. All I have to do is allow it to come out and let the world see me with hope and faith in my heart. Hope is that window through which I can see the good that awaits me and everyone around me. And when my hope matures into faith, that's when I bring peace and love and joy forward, changing the course of my life forever. I pause now to recognize the Christ's presence within, the image and likeness of God. That is my true gift this Christmas. It is in the peaceful moments that I recognize my heartbeat and appreciate life for what it is. I celebrate the Christ alive within me, that Spirit expressing through me. I am the Spirit of God which shines brightly on my life. And when I recognize that light, I am always at peace. So nice to see all of you. So while many people have traveled this holiday to be with family and friends, the most important journey we take at Christmas is a spiritual one. If we miss that, we miss the point of this holiday. You know, when I was a child, I'm not sure I really understood. All I remember is them saying the baby Jesus was born. I was like, so? What does that mean exactly? Right? But as we grow spiritually, we learn that what it means is that if we understand the true meaning of the Christ Spirit, and we remember everything Jesus tried to tell people, that I am you, you are me, we're one. He asked people not to treat him special. He wanted people to see that he was human, like us, and that his job on this earth was to have purpose and meaning. So tonight, as we revisit a little bit of the story, I hope you can remember to think just these words, celebrating the Christ Spirit within. Regardless of what religion you were brought up in, regardless of your beliefs, this season is about renewed hope, renewed faith, at a time when the world had none. So imagine all these people traveling all this way to see this person that the rumors, remember, they didn't have phones, so the rumors were spreading that this child was going to be born. And everybody's flocking to see the child because their lives were unhappy. Their lives were not meaningful. And so all they wanted was a chance to renew, a chance to see the world better than what their lives were at the time. Now, regardless of what we believe, or you believe, we all believe, Jesus was believed to be the Son of God, and he told everybody that. He said, I'm the Son of God, but so are you. Prior to his birth, prophets had predicted for hundreds of years that there would be this event in the world that would change the world. But with that belief was also the fact that people would have a chance to shift away from fearing God. So before Jesus came along, the whole world feared God. God was bad. God was going to harm you. You had to be good or you know what would happen. It was all about fear. But Jesus' life changed that. He brought people to this place of real hope. You can have a real life. You can have meaning. You can have purpose. You can be well. You just need to think better. That Christ consciousness. You need to see yourself as part of someone who's connected to this divine universe. Someone who's empowered all the time. Someone who can look within and find the answers. And not be fearful that the answers won't come. That's what Christmas is meant to be. To help us remember the answers always come when we recognize that Christ consciousness within us. The birth of Jesus brought a promise for a brighter future. This child was believed to be magical. His arrival was met with such joy, and from that day forward, anything he said and did made people happy or content or peaceful. He paved the way for all of us to live in a spiritual place where we could be content in life. That's what it was meant to do for us. I agree, Logan. Jesus' presence alone empowered people when powerful leaders were ruling the land and they feared for their lives and their livelihoods. There was this peacefulness in knowing that life could be hopeful, meaningful, purposeful. His birth was the fulfillment of what prophets predicted, and people wholeheartedly believed he was one of the signs. So the night he was born, we all know about the star. It was this unusual star that appeared in the sky, and if you remember a couple years ago, in 2020, the same thing happened. That same star appeared in the sky. But there was a second and significant sign, and that was the angel. There was an angel that came to tell people that the child they had been waiting for had finally been born. Luke 2, verse 10. Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. It was good news for everybody. Shepherds were amongst the wise men and the angels that were inspired that night when Jesus was born. And they too shared in the excitement of this great event. And as news continued to spread across the land, people came from everywhere just to see this child. Okay, maybe you're never going to hear the rest of the story. As the crowds gathered, they celebrated by bringing gifts to this child they didn't know. And they believed that if they gave gifts to this baby, that God would look favorably on them, still fearing God in that moment. But just to see him, to touch him, to be in his presence, for many was life-changing. So we might ask ourselves, how does a baby's birth suddenly create faith when it all started from a story? Think about that for a moment. All these people across all these lands were talking about this one child. And you know how long it took to get that story going. But see, as Jesus grew up, he began demonstrating what everybody had hoped for. He spoke in loving ways. He acted in loving ways. He was gentle and kind, and he never expressed judgment of anyone or anything. He didn't care if people were rich or poor, or popular or unpopular. It didn't matter if they were sick or healthy, good or evil. He treated everyone with the same respect. He spoke to everyone he met and believed that all people were sons and daughters of God, just like him. And he did not see himself as special. And more importantly, he did not want to be seen as special. Jesus exemplified love. His presence was loving, and that love served as a catalyst for people to come together in fellowship, to talk about spiritual topics, such as seeing God as love and loving, patient and kind, seeing God as peace and tolerant and accepting. Jesus spent his short lifetime on this earth sharing what he believed to be messages of the divine. But they were messages from his heart, not messages from his intellect. He taught that the answers to all of our questions already lived within us, and that if we would just trust that we too were of the divine, we would know that in our hearts. He encouraged people to listen to that wisdom within and act as they were guided to express their own divinity. He repeatedly reminded people that all things were possible through faith in the most powerful divine spirit of all. Jesus tried to tell everyone, and he believed this for himself, that we were placed on this earth for a higher purpose and higher meaning than just what life looked like, that we were entitled to a joy-filled life, that we were born to be happy and healthy, and that all things within our consciousness were possible. So it comes back to, what are we holding in our consciousness? What is it that we believe? What is it we see for our lives? Where's our faith? Where's our faith? Is it only when life is good? Can our faith be bigger than that? He encouraged people to listen. He repeatedly reminded them that all things would happen if they only believed. He preached the importance of being part of and supporting community, and that all those communities joining together as one would create this amazing world. You know, I really believe here at Unity of Tampa, we've created such a community. Not only because we come together on Sundays as a community, but because of all of what we do to serve our local community. That's what it's all about. It's about bringing ourselves together, taking care of one another, building that support and trust for the community, and spreading that out and not acting like we're a whole bunch of communities, but that we're all one. All of us are one. We can learn from this story. We can learn from this example. And we can use the Christmas experience as a chance to recommit ourselves to our own divinity, to empower ourselves, to think about the consciousness we hold every day and imagine what we want for our lives in this coming year. And just like the candles that are lit this time of year, Jesus shined his light on the world each and every day. Now, for those of you who have been coming the last 4 weeks, you know we lit a candle every week, first for hope and faith, next for peace, then for love, and last for joy. And today, we light the center candle, which represents our own light. Looks like our hope and faith is a little dim. Okay, can I get a little hope and faith from some of you, please? You can hold that consciousness. So I just want to ask that everyone, tonight, tomorrow, the rest of the week, maybe hopefully the rest of your life, that we just all try to hold consciousness for ourselves as divine spiritual beings in this lifetime. People who, when we see others struggling, we're not the first to dim their light. That we're the ones who find a way to brighten our own lives and everyone else's. It's our job to lift the world up. So tonight we restore hope, faith, peace, love, and joy in our lives and in our world. And now I'd like to invite Julie Williams up.
Hello. If the flowers can find their way up through the falling snow, and if the icy Christmas wind can find the strains to blow, and if the stars deep in the dark can find the light to glow, then even on my darkest day I too can find the hope. So I will open up my heart like a kid on Christmas Eve, when the dreams are as real as the lights up on the tree. And what you choose to look for is what you're gonna see. So if only for tonight I will believe, I will believe. And when upon a star, it won't always come true. But when your heart is broken, there's a chance to start anew. There's nothing that I'd rather do than spend this night with you. You don't have to say it, but I know you feel it too. So I will open up my heart like a kid on Christmas Eve, where the dreams are as real as the lights up on the tree. And what you choose to look for is what you're gonna see. So if only for tonight, I will believe. I will believe. I will hold on to this feeling, 'cause I've lost it before. And now I know that growing up, you need it even more. So I will open up my heart like a kid on Christmas Eve, when the dreams are as real as the lights up on the tree. And what you choose to look for is what you're gonna see. So if only for tonight, I will believe. I will believe. Thank you.
You guys are very patient with our transitions here. It's a lot of moving parts tonight, so thank you. Thank you. Once again, we're going to get the choir up, and this is where candlelighting will take place.
While Tanya's getting settled, I just want to thank a few people. First, I want to thank Elliot, our music director. Elliot does a great job as the leader of our music here every Sunday, but he's put in a lot of extra time with all of us. We only had 3 practices together, and he pulled this night off, which is pretty impressive. Almost pulled this night. Yeah, we're almost there. Okay, we'll just call it pretty good. But I also want to thank Tanya McEwen, who was 20 years ago my choir leader, and it's wonderful having her as a guest pianist tonight. And for those of you who don't know, Duncan McEwen's in the sound booth, and he just turned 21 a week ago. Yeah. So those of you who remember Duncan know he sat on the piano when I was in the choir back in the day. And so it's pretty impressive just to have mom and son here tonight and working together. And I want to thank all our greeters, Jeffrey Beach And also Michael Williams, thank you so much. Janet, thank you for being here tonight. All the people who helped with setting up candles and parking. Luis, wherever you are, thank you for everything you do. And also David and Dave were out in the parking lot, and I don't even know who else. Dave Reed. I don't know who else was out there, but thank you to everyone who helped us pull tonight off. And again, I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I'll be talking to you again, of course. Yeah. Do you want to invite? Are they going to stand?
Yeah, why don't you guys stand and sing this one with us, if you will. Go ahead and give those candles a little twist and turn them on.
So as you hold your candles tonight, imagine this is your light within. See yourself lighting the world with this candle. See yourself bringing joy to yourselves and to others. See the love in the world. And as we take a moment to pray, we give thanks for the opportunity to know that the Christ consciousness within each of us simply means that we are divine and we go forth and spread that divinity.
Also invite Tanya McEwen's going to come up here and join our choir.
And they can be seated.
And if some of you guys know this song, go ahead and sing it with us.
Yes.
Yeah, also you may be seated.
Thank you. That better. That better.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, and the world must come together as one. There are people dying.
Oh, and it's time to lend a hand to life the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that we are someone somewhere will turn around.
We're all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, we know love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones to make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a brighter day, just you and me.
We'll send you your heart, so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free. As God has shown us by turning stone to bread, and so we must all lend a helping hand.
We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones to make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. Let's realize that a change can only come when we stand together as one. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a better day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me.
Take a bow, guys.
Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We wish you a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas. God bless you all, and may you be nothing but joy-filled. Be well. Thank you.